So today is the Sunday before Christmas, and I thought I would start just a short Vlogmas. As you saw already this morning, it was just a nice quiet morning. Got up, had some Hungarian palicsinta, which I took a picture of just to show my husband is from Hungary, and that is one of his staples that he makes most weekends, if not every other weekend. So don't mind waking up to that for breakfast. And then I love just sitting. Like we are very busy. We do a lot on the weekends. We try to have a really slow morning, both of the mornings if we can fit it in. So I love just sitting there, having a cup of coffee or a tea and looking through whether it's a food and wine magazine or in this case, seed catalogs. I love just looking at the pictures and reading the descriptions and envisioning what I want to grow. I'm already at the point that I probably have more seeds than what I can grow in my garden, but it's fun to just explore new things. I try not to buy too many, but I'll go through and circle the ones that I find interesting. And then from there, when I actually go to order, I try to pull myself back, but I also have to look through what I currently have to make sure I don't have something already very similar. That one is, they go by Rare Seeds, and I think Baker Creek Seed. I think it's the same company. And that's just one that I really enjoy looking through. And they are really good at writing descriptions that just make every single plant possible sound like the most amazing thing you could buy. So what I need to get into this morning, it's been a very hectic holiday season. I think for most people, just the timing of Thanksgiving over to Christmas for those of us in the US. It's been very hectic. Also, my work has been very busy. And just I have 2 children under 10, so they have things at school, things to do. We try not to fit too much into our holidays, so we don't have a ton of obligations, but just everyday life is busy. So all that said, I have ordered things and picked up things for their Christmas, but I have not sat down yet and made sure I have everything that, if there's stuff I need to hold off. Their birthdays are a couple of months away, so there's sometimes that I maybe get a little bit, over eager with what I buy for Christmas, and maybe I hold 1 or 2 things off to their birthdays because I don't want to overwhelm them with gifts. I want to give them a few things and things that they're really going to enjoy. But not so much. My husband and I try to be careful not to give them too many things. We want them to actually play with, be grateful, and enjoy the things they have. So you can see I have a box there. I have a box there. I have some boxes and bags here. There's things in front of me, some stuff their aunt sent that I have to go through. So I need to start wrapping, but I also want to write a list of what I know that some of their aunts and uncles have bought them, and then go through what I have to make sure if there's things that are so similar that maybe one of them can wait until their birthdays. I'm probably over explaining this, but that's what I need to sit down and do today because there's a couple of things that I just really want them to have, and I want to make sure that I've ordered that stuff. I'm pretty sure I try to keep a list on my phone, and I think I hit all of the big stuff, and if there's something that's missing, I can fill it in throughout the year. It waits, and it's not that big of a deal. But, as parents, I think when we're at the point that we can give our children stuff, we want to, and sometimes it's good for them to wait, but sometimes there's stuff that makes us excited too. So I also need to clean my office because the packing material, honestly, some of this I'm using to cover packages. My daughters are pretty good about not being too sneaky about checking things out, or at least they haven't figured out that that's something that they can possibly get away with, thankfully. But still, I kind of have it all just tucked in, and it looks disorganized enough that I don't think they've tried to explore in here. So I'm going to do that. And really, other than that, today is just a day of, I want to get our house more clean. It still feels very disorganized, and I would love to go into the actual week of Christmas being able to relax and not feel like my house is a mess. So I need to do laundry and organize stuff and then go through the presents. I might start wrapping. That might be a tonight thing, but it also might be a tomorrow thing. So we'll see where that plays out. So I was going to show myself organizing some of these gifts, and then I realized that I can't because this video is going to go up before Christmas, and I don't want my daughters seeing what they're going to be getting. So just know that items in these boxes, let me block what's there, and over there will be, there we go, we got it. will be organized, so I'll be doing that. But I'll check in later when I can share a little bit more of what I'm doing. Okay, so far today I have organized the closet, done laundry. I did not clean up the kitchen, which really needs to be cleaned up. And right now I had pizza dough that I made last night. I'm gonna get it ready to put on the, we have a little wood-fired stove set up that my husband built a couple of months ago. So I'm going to go ahead and put that together. And then later on tonight, I still need to go through presents. Well, it would have been great if I had clicked record and you would have seen me make the dough, but I will link below. I actually did a separate video on making pizza dough, so I will show that. I'll insert the link in the description so we can see it. But here we go. We have the dough. I'm just going to cover these with a little bit of plastic wrap, only because I want to put them in the oven to warm up because our house is very cold. It's going to be very cold outside too. I think it's like, I don't know, around 30 degrees, give or take. So it's a little frigid. The air has a chill. So even if it's a little bit warmer, the air feels very cold. But I'm going to go ahead, cover this, and then get the sauce together. Okay, so I've made the pizza dough. Well, I have the pizza dough rolled into balls. It's in the oven. I'm going to make my pizza sauce. I don't prefer like the marinara, the really cooked down sweet pizza sauce. I like one where it's preferably the San Marzano. So this is Pomodoro San Marzano. So these are the certified tomatoes from Italy, and in general, almost across the board, they tend to have just really good flavor. So for something like this, I do spend the extra money. I actually get this a 3-pack at Costco. But for something like this where I don't put a lot of things on my tomato sauce and I don't put a lot of things on my pizza. I just put tomato, the sauce, good mozzarella, and pepperoni. That is it. I don't put onions, cheddar, all of the different things that you can put, barbecue, all those crazy things. I'm not gonna judge. The only things that I will add, if I have it, is fresh basil when it comes out. And sometimes, especially in the summer when we have a lot of tomatoes, I'll put tomatoes on top. So this is a 28-ounce can. To that, I'll put about a full teaspoon of salt. Again, because this is going to be flavoring so much of the pizza. Some fresh cracked pepper. Now, I do not measure, I'll be honest, and I put a lot of spices. Again, I probably sound like a broken record, but because I'm expecting a lot of flavor to come out of the sauce for the pizza, so I just load it up with spices. So I will do, let's see, we have some dried parsley, we have some oregano. I would say that that's probably 1.5 to 2 teaspoons. Those are my 2 primary spices. If I use nothing else, I'm using those. Then, because I have it, it's an unusual one in the US, but marjoram. You don't really see that one in a lot of cooking. I have some dried thyme. I think that's all. I don't think I have any sage. Actually, I do have sage. I'll be right back. Now I'm just being fancy because I have it. I dried some sage and I've never gotten around to breaking it up and putting it in a jar. Oh, I love that smell. So there you go. I'm finally using, I have a tendency to dry these things and then they sit in the closet that I dry them in until I eventually get frustrated and throw them away. All right, so that's it. I'm just gonna pop this on the blender, on the base, and I'm just gonna blend it just until it's broken down and mixed, but I don't want to froth it, so I'll keep it at a lower setting just so I can see that it's kind of, you see it coming up, and then it's done. And then as I mentioned, I prefer the boar's head pepperoni, at least for what we can easily get. And then this is just fresh mozzarella. These come pre-sliced. I prefer the ones that aren't pre-sliced, but I don't know if it's just our store that started carrying only the sliced one. I used to prefer Costco had mozzarella balls that I really liked. It was a great price, but this one works. This is Galvani. I like it. I do prefer the softer mozzarella to the harder packaged one. That one works as well, but this one does tend to melt just a little bit softer and more gooey. And that is it. That's all I'm gonna be putting on my pizza today. All right, let me see. As you see, I don't want to turn it up. It's right at, for this one, right at like 3 or 4. I'll probably turn it up to like 4. You can see the specks. That's the garlic flying through, so I'll wait until that looks a little bit smaller. Try another 10 seconds and it'll be done. But as you can see, it's not allowing it to get really frothy. If I turned it up a lot, it would get really frothy and it would mix it, but then you have like a foam that cooks differently. But that's it. Very cold. That's okay. We're making good pizza and it's worth it. All right, the last pizza is in. Well, wait, I need this. I took my headlamp off and now I can't see how the pizza's doing. So let's see. Wait, what am I doing now? There we go. My goodness, my hand-eye coordination is not up to par. So that last one is in. I turned the music off so I can actually talk. Take all the audio out because we've been listening to music, but it's been really nice. It's a really beautiful, just clear. You can't really tell. Well, it's clear-ish, I should say. I can't see all the stars, but I can see some. But it's just a really nice. It's cold, don't get me wrong, but it's bearable. Especially because this fire is hot. It is well over 800 degrees down by the embers, and up where we're cooking, it's probably around 600, give or take. Hotter when you have the heat that's coming up, the flames that are coming up the back sometimes. So I've had to play around. That first one got a little crispy, not gonna lie, because usually the first one I have to figure out where the hot spots are. Just because it is wood fired, it's going to be inconsistent a little bit from one time to the next. So usually that first pizza, I'm figuring out how much I can play around with it. All right, I'll be right back. I need to turn the pizza. There we go. Ooh, my hair is looking a little crazy because the headlamp. So I like pizza. My husband loves pizza. So for me, this is something, I mean, it's something he loves and I love doing it and it's fun. It's been fun experimenting the pizza dough recipe that I've kind of come up with over time, and the different ratios and everything. And also this is a pizza I can eat more often. Pizza is something that I don't really feel a desire to eat very much, especially, I mean, I don't really consider Papa John's and Domino's, it's pizza, but it's not the kind of pizza that I prefer to eat. We do have some wood-fired pizza places around us that have really good pizza, but it's really nice to be able to do it this way. We can tweak how big the pizzas are, what we're putting on it, the ingredients, and the quality of what we're putting on it. So I really enjoy the process. Okay, just because we already have the wood burning, I am going to throw together a really quick asparagus, I wouldn't say dish, I feel like that's a little strong. It's literally just asparagus that I'm roasting. Little olive oil. Lemon juice. Salt. and pepper. A little more salt. And we'll just put this on now that we've taken the pizza off and let it cook for a little bit as the fire dies down. So this pizza is good color underneath. As you saw, I didn't use too much flour, and then I used semolina on the peel on the board that I'm using to put it off into the oven. And with doing that, I don't end up having too much charring on the bottom because I make sure not to use too much flour. That's what tends to char. And the dough has a good texture. You can good pull. All right, it is 9:30, and I think I'm actually gonna go take a shower, which sadly is kind of early for our Sundays lately. I mean, our nights in general lately. We've been pushing it way too much, way too hard. But it's been nice finally starting to make some progress. I feel like with our house, I feel like this time of year it gets really busy with work, with school, with life, that the house just starts to, like, the clutter just creeps up. And each room, though the house isn't messy, each room has a spot that is, and it's just been trying to clean those spots, has been my goal. So I've just been trying to focus on like 1 or 2 areas a day to try not to overwhelm myself because I end up having so many other things to do. So today, as I mentioned earlier, was the hall closet. I wish I had taken a before picture because I have to say it was a lot worse than I thought it was. It's a really small space. I'll insert a picture of it now that it's done, but it's a very narrow, it's under the staircase to our attic type closet. So it's just very narrow and angled, but it's a great space. It's nice to have that storage space, but we have tried to fit a lot in there. So I was able to get that cleaned out and cleaned around some other areas and just kind of had a whole trash bag worth of stuff that went out. So that just always tells me that I need to get to these spaces sooner when that's the case. So before I go, I wanted to mention the 2 vitamins that I try to take at night. So I might have these in the wrong order, but hey, they look basically the same, so it doesn't really matter. One is, it's called Perfect Amino. It is a pill form amino acid, but it's like a full range of aminos that create a protein. Supposedly, if it's true, 5 of these equal like 30 grams of protein. So I'm taking 3 of those. Sometimes I take 5, but I already took some earlier today, and I actually had a good amount of protein today. But I like to take them, one, just because I feel like I struggle, especially there's times when I'm working out a good bit, and I feel like I struggle to get enough protein, and I don't love eating too much meat. That's just not my thing. And I know you can get protein without meat, but it's just, I always feel like my body does better when I have just a little bit more protein. And then the other one I'm taking is magnesium glycinate. So I'm taking 3 of these, which I think comes to 400 milligrams. I don't know, whichever one I'm taking, it comes to like 400 milligrams. So I'm going to take those. The magnesium really helps with my sleep. I notice that I sleep more peacefully when I take it. I wouldn't say that I fall asleep sooner, even though I have been falling asleep watching TV lately. So maybe I have been. But it's just when I do sleep, I also feel like I sleep more soundly and I wake up more rested. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great night.